this whisper, I will be reciting some facts. So, here it goes. The quartz crystal in your wristwatch vibrates 32,760 times a second. Barbie's full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts. The first TV toy commercial aired in 1946 for Mr. Potato Head. The side of a hammer is called a cheek. Rubber bands last longer when refrigerated. In Athens, Greece, a driver's license can be taken away by law if the driver is deemed either unbathed or poorly dressed. In Texas, it is illegal to graffiti someone's cow. Less than 2% of the water on Earth is fresh water. A cubic mile of fog is made up of less than a gallon of water. A manned rocket can reach the moon in less time than it took a stagecoach to travel the length of England. At room temperature, the average air molecule travels at the speed of a rifle bullet. The first lollipop was invented in Connecticut. Buzz Aldrin was one of the first men on the moon. His mother's maiden name was also Moon. Maine is the only state with a one-syllable name. In Germany, the sh sound means hurry up. George Washington was the only unanimously elected president. New York City has 722 miles of subway track. Antarctica is the only continent with no isles. In Albania, nodding your head means no, and shaking your head means yes. Shakespeare invented the word assassination. French author Michael Thayer published a 233-page novel which has no verbs. Australia is the only continent without an active volcano. The name of the city we call Bangkok is 115 letters long in the Thai language. In ancient Greece, throwing an apple to a woman was considered a marriage proposal. Children grow faster during springtime. Relative to size, the tongue is the strongest muscle in the human body. The only jointless bone in the body is in your throat. On average, a man spends about 5 months of his life shaving. Our eyes are always the same size from birth, but our nose and ears never stop growing. Your skull is made up of 29 different bones. Women's hearts beat faster than men's hearts. The average human dream only lasts 2 to 3 seconds. William Shakespeare was born and died on the same day, April 23rd. Napoleon suffered a fear of cats. The 4th Earl of Sandwich invented the sandwich so he could eat and gamble at the same time. In the Middle Ages, chicken soup was considered an aphrodisiac. The word facetious features all the vowels in alphabetical order. The standard Chinese typewriter has 1,500 characters. The Japanese word judo means gentle way. It took Leonardo da Vinci 12 years to paint the lips of Mona Lisa. The name for the space between your eyebrows is nassion. The word purple does not rhyme with any other word in the English language. The legs of bats are too weak to support their weight, which is why they hang upside down. 75% of people wash from top to bottom in the shower. The Statue of Liberty features 7 points in her crown, 1 for each of the continents. The beaver is the official animal of Canada. The last letter to be added to our alphabet was J. Of all the trees in Australia, 75% are eucalyptus. The term 007 was derived from 20007, the home zip code of many Washington, D.C. agents. Leonardo da Vinci discovered that a tree's rings reveal its age. The medical term for writer's cramp is graphospasm. estimated that the world's oceans contain 10 billion tons of gold. Cold water weighs less than hot water. Bamboo can grow 3 feet in one day. Butterflies were formerly known by the name flutterby. Mexican jumping beans jump to get out of sunlight. Arachibutlophobia is the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. Pearls dissolve in vinegar. The oil in cashews help prevent tooth decay. Heat, not sunlight, ripens tomatoes. Grapes are the most popular fruit in the world. Way is the most frequently used noun in the English language. It is illegal for a portrait of a living person to appear on US postage stamps. Lemons are more acidic than vinegar. Jack is the most common name in nursery rhymes. Intelligent people have more zinc and copper in their hair. In every episode of Seinfeld, there is a Superman somewhere. Wearing headphones for just an hour will increase the bacteria in your ear by 700 times. The world's youngest parents were 8 and 9 and lived in China in 1910. Fish that live more than 800 meters below the ocean surface don't have eyes. Most household dust is made of dead skin cells. The male seahorse carries the eggs until they hatch instead of the female. Mercury is the only planet whose orbit is coplanar with its equator. Stephen Hawking was born exactly 300 years after Galileo died. Grapes explode when you put them in the microwave. Ramesses brand condom is named after the great pharaoh Ramesses II, who fathered over 160 children. Peanuts are one of the ingredients of dynamite. In York, it is perfectly legal to shoot a Scotsman with a bow and arrow, except on Sundays. No piece of square, dry paper can be folded in half more than 7 times. sinks about 10 inches a year. Because metal was scarce, the Oscars given out during World War II were made of wood. The glue on Israeli postage is certified kosher. 35% of the people who use personal ads for dating are already married. Bruce Lee was so fast that I actually had to slow film down so you could see his moves. A Boeing 747's wingspan is longer than the Wright brothers' first flight. Babies are born without kneecaps. They don't appear until the child reaches 2 to 6 years of age. 14% of all facts and statistics are made up, and 27% of people know that fact. Eskimos have over 15 words for the English word of snow. Americans, on the average, eat 18 acres of pizza every day. Almonds are a member of the peach family. The plastic things on the end of shoelaces are called aglets. The average shelf life of a latex condom is about 2 years. Male bats have the highest rate of homosexuality of any mammal. A man's beard grows fastest when he anticipates sex. Sex is biochemically no different from eating large quantities of chocolate. For every normal web page, there are 5 porn pages. US dollar bills are made out of cotton and linen. The 57 on the Heinz ketchup bottle represents the number of pickle types the company once had. Giraffes and rats can last longer without water than camels. Your stomach produces a new layer of mucus every 2 weeks so that it doesn't digest itself. 98% of all murders and rapes are by a close family member or friend of the victim. The dot over the letter I is called a tittle. Benjamin Franklin was the 5th in a series of the youngest son of the youngest son. In Italy, 17 is considered an unlucky number. In Japan, 4 is considered an unlucky number. A female ferret will die if it goes into heat and cannot find a mate. In ancient Rome, when a man testified in court, he would swear on his testicles. ZIP in zip code means zoning improvement plan. A 2x4 is really 1.5 by 3.5. It is estimated that at any one time, around 0.7% of the world's population is drunk. 40% of McDonald's profits come from sales of Happy Meals. (315 entries in Webster's 1996 dictionary were misspelled. Albert Einstein and Charles Darwin both married their first cousins. On average, 12 newborn babies will be given to the wrong parents every day. Chocolate can kill dogs. It directly affects their heart and nervous system. Dr. Seuss pronounced his name Seuss. American Airlines saved $40,000 in 1987 by taking out an olive from first-class salads. There are no clocks in Las Vegas gambling casinos. Coconuts kill about 150 people each year. That's more than sharks. The name Wendy was made up for the book Peter Pan. There was never a recorded Wendy before it. The first bomb the Allies dropped on Berlin in World War II killed the only elephant in the Berlin Zoo. If you put a drop of liquor on a scorpion, it will instantly go mad and sting itself to death. IBM's motto is think. Apple later made their motto think different. One in 14 women in America is a natural blonde. Only 1 in 16 men are. When the Titanic sank, 2,228 people were on it. Only 706 survived. During his entire life, Vincent van Gogh sold exactly one painting, Red Vineyard at Arles. 1 in 10 people live on an island. 28% of Africa is classified as wilderness. In North America, it's 38%. Charlie Chaplin once won 3rd prize in a Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest. Sherlock Holmes never said, "Elementary, my dear Watson." Humphrey Bogart never said, "Play it again, Sam," in Casablanca. They never said, "Beam me up, Scotty," on Star Trek. Guinness Book of Records holds the record for being the book most often stolen from libraries. Every US president has worn glasses, just not always in public. Jim Henson first coined the word Muppet. It is a combination of marionette and puppet. The Michelin Man is known as Mr. Bibb. His name was Bibendum in the company's first ads in 1896. The word lethologica describes the state of not being able to remember the word you want. A word or sentence that is the same front and back, for example, race car and kayak, is called a palindrome. People photocopying their buttocks are the cause of 23% of all photocopier faults worldwide. China has more English speakers than the United States. 1 in every 9,000 people is an albino. The electric chair was invented by a dentist. Each year, 4 people in the UK die putting their trousers on. Cats have over 100 vocal sounds. Dogs only have about 10. Rats multiply so quickly that in 18 months, 2 rats could have over 1 million descendants. About 55% of all movies are rated R. Arabic numerals are not really Arabic. They were created in India. The February of 1865 is the only month in recorded history not to have a full moon. The cruise liner Queen Elizabeth II moves only 6 inches for each gallon of diesel that it burns. More than 50% of the people in the world have never made or received a telephone call. The word maverick came into use after Samuel Maverick, a Texan, refused to brand his cattle. Termites have been known to eat food twice as fast when heavy metal music is playing. On a Canadian $2 bill, the American flag is flying over the Parliament building. An American urologist bought Napoleon's penis for $40,000. Dreamt is the only English word that ends in the letters MD. Rats and horses can't vomit. Venus is the only planet that rotates clockwise. You are more likely to be killed by a championed cork than by a poisonous spider. Ancient Egyptian priests would pluck every hair from their bodies. All polar bears are left-handed. A cockroach will live 9 days without its head before it starves to death. An ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain. The national anthem of Greece has 158 verses. A healthy, non-colorblind human eye can distinguish between 500 shades of grey. A pregnant goldfish is called a twit. Lizards can self-amputate their tails for protection. It grows back after a few months. Tigers have striped skin, not just striped fur. A jiffy is the scientific name for 1/100th of a second. The youngest pope ever was 11 years old. Elwood Edwards did the voice for the AOL sound files, i.e. You've Got Mail. Elvis had a twin brother named Garn who died at birth, which is why Elvis' middle name was Arn. Dueling is legal in Paraguay as long as both parties are registered blood donors. If you keep a goldfish in a dark room, it will eventually turn white. The name Jeep comes from GP, the Army abbreviation for general purpose. Right-handed people live, on average, 9 years longer than left-handed people. Leonardo da Vinci invented the scissors, the helicopter, and many other present-day items. In the last 4,000 years, no new animals have been domesticated. Canada is an Indian word meaning big village. A jellyfish is 95% water. Common copper venom is not on the list of top 10 venoms, yet it is still 40 times more toxic than cyanide. Banging your head against a wall uses 150 calories an hour. On average, people fear spiders more than they do death. The strongest muscle in the human body is the tongue. The heart is not a muscle. In golf, a bow derrick watch advertisements. The time displayed on a watch is 10:10. If you plant an apple seed, it is almost guaranteed to grow a tree of a different type of apple. Al Capone's business card said he was a used furniture dealer. There are about 450 types of cheese in the world. 240 come from France. Broccoli and cauliflower are the only vegetables that are flowers. In a survey of 200,000 ostriches over 80 years, not one tried to bury its head in the sand. Andorra, a tiny country between France and Spain, has the longest average lifespan, 83.49 years. John Lennon's first girlfriend was named Thelma Pickles. The average person falls asleep in 7 minutes. The sixth sheep's sick is said to be the toughest tongue twister in English. Yeah, I got it right. I said the second bit wrong. There are 336 dimples on a regulation US golf ball. In the UK, it's 330. Duff is the decaying organic matter found on a forest floor. Kuwait is about 60% male, the highest proportion in the world. Latvia is about 54% female, the highest proportion in the world. The Hawaiian alphabet has only 12 letters. At the height of its power, in 400 BC, the Greek city of Sparta had 25,000 citizens and 500,000 slaves. People say bless you when you sneeze because your heart stops for a millisecond. In Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins, never blinks. In the 17th century, the value of pi was known to 35 decimal places. Today, to 1.2411 trillion. Lassie was played by a group of male dogs. The main explode. Venus and Uranus are the only planets that rotate opposite to the direction of their orbit. Dolphins can look in different directions with each eye. The Falkland Islands, population about 2,000, has over 700,000 sheep, 350 per person. The city of Venice stands on about 120 small islands. Beetles taste like apples, wasps like pine nuts, and worms like fried bacon. What is called a French kiss in the English-speaking world is known as an English kiss in France. Almost is the longest word in the English language, with all the letters in alphabetical order. In 1386, a pig in France was executed by public hanging for the murder of a child. Human thigh bones are stronger than concrete. There is a city called Rome on every continent. One quarter of the bones in your body are in your feet. Fingernails grow nearly 4 times faster than toenails. Adolf Hitler was a vegetarian. Months that begin on a Sunday will always have a Friday the 13th. More people are killed each year from bees than from snakes. More people are allergic to cow's milk than any other food. The 6 official languages of the United Nations are English, French, Arabic, Chinese, Russian, and Spanish. Earth is the only planet not named after a god. You're born with 300 bones, but by the time you become an adult, you only have 206. A giraffe can clean its ears with its 21-inch tongue. Your tongue is the only muscle in your body that is attached at only one end. A snail can sleep for 3 years. The only domestic animal not mentioned in the Bible is the cat. Pepsi originally contained pepsin, thus the name. Honey is the only natural food that is made without destroying any kind of life. The volume of the Earth's moon is the same as the volume of the Pacific Ocean. Each year, there is 1 ton of cement poured for each man, woman, and child in the world. The only capital letter average person's left hand does 56% of the typing. The longest one-syllable word in the English language is screeched. All of the clocks in the movie Pulp Fiction are stuck on 4:20. The giant squid has the largest eyes in the world. The first CD pressed in the United States was Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA. In Utah, it is illegal to swear in front of a dead person. The official beverage of Ohio is tomato juice. The ATM, automated teller machine, was introduced in England in 1965. When we think of Big Ben in London, we think of the clock. Actually, it's the bell. There is a hotel in Sweden built entirely out of ice. It is rebuilt every year. Bulgarians are known to be the biggest yogurt eaters in the world. Antarctica is the only continent that does not have land areas below sea level. The toothbrush was invented in China in 1498. Mongolia is the largest landlocked country. Vatican City is the smallest country in the world, with a population of 1,000 and just 108.7 acres. 98% of Japanese are cremated. The number 4 is considered unlucky in Japan because it is pronounced the same as death. The Philippines has about 7,100 islands, of which only about 460 are more than 1 square mile in area. Australian soldiers used the song "We're Off to See the Wizard" as a marching song in World War II. Greenland is the largest island in the world. Tasmania, Australia, has the cleanest air in the inhabited world. In 1933, Mickey Mouse, an animated cartoon character, received 800,000 fan letters. The thyroid cartilage is more commonly known as the Adam's apple. The average life of a taste bud is 10 days. When you sneeze, all your bodily functions stop, even your heart. It takes the stomach an hour to break down cow's milk. Blondes have more hair than dark-haired people do. average lifetime, a person will walk the equivalent of 5 times around the equator. Your skull is made up of 29 different bones. Ancient Egyptians shaved off their eyebrows to mourn the deaths of their cats. Hair is made from the same substance as fingernails. There are 45 miles of nerves in the skin of a human being. Astronaut Neil Armstrong first stepped on the moon with his left foot. Jim Morrison of the 60s rock group The Doors was the first rock star to be arrested on stage. Peter Falk, who played Columbo, has a glass eye. The mother of Michael Nesmith of the Monkees invented whiteout. Adolf Hitler's mother seriously considered having an abortion, but was talked out of it by her doctor. The shortest British monarch was Charles I, who was 4 feet 9 inches. Tina Turner's real name is Annie Mae Bullock. Sigmund Freud had a morbid fear of ferns. Anne Boleyn, Queen Elizabeth I's mother, had 6 fingers on one hand. The sound of E.T. walking was made by someone squishing her hands in jelly. Sugar was first added to chewing gum in 1869 by a dentist, William Semple. Sir Isaac Newton was only 23 years old when he discovered the law of universal gravitation. A blue whale's heart only beats 9 times per minute. A chameleon's tongue is twice the length of its body. The penguin is the only bird that can swim but can't fly. The cheetah is the only cat that can't retract its claws. Emus and kangaroos can't walk backwards. Koalas never drink water. They get fluids from the eucalyptus leaves they eat. Camels chew in a figure-8 pattern. There are 1,792 steps in the Eiffel Tower. You is the second most spoken English word. I is the most spoken word in the English language. In Raiders of the Lost Ark, there is a wall carving of R2-D2 and C-3PO behind the Ark. There is a city in Norway Pinocchio is Italian for pinehead. E is the most commonly used letter in the English language. Q is the least common. When christening a new ship, the Vikings would sacrifice a human being, believing the spirit of the deceased would guide and guard the ship. In their original edition, Grimm's fairy tales are some of the bloodiest, most brutal stories ever written. The cow population of Vermont is greater than that of its people. The jaw muscle is the strongest muscle in the human body. The French call victims of April Fool's pranks April fish. April Fools started back in the 16th century when the French changed the beginning date of the new year from April 1st to the now familiar January 1st. Dragonflies can fly up to 30 miles an hour. Mount Everest is the tallest mountain from sea level, but the mountain closest to outer space is Chimborazo in Ecuador, because it's on the equator where the planet bulges. It has a head start. After Albert Einstein died in 1955, his brain was sent to Kansas, entrusted by his son to the care of Dr. Thomas Harvey, who performed the autopsy. Harvey kept the brain in a jar in a cardboard box behind a beer cooler. 97% of the Earth's water is in the oceans. Atlantic salmons can leap as high as 15 feet out of the water. Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles was the first music video played on MTV. The age of a whale can be determined by counting the layers of its earwax growth. Right out of the womb, the South American vicuna can run faster than a human. Traveling at the speed of light, it would take 4 years to reach the closest star. Diabetes was first diagnosed in 1815 when French chemist Michael Eugene Chevreul discovered that the urine of a diabetic was identical to sugar found in a grape. The word acre literally means the amount of land pliable in one day. Beer is considered a staple food in Bavaria. Cats purr at the rate of 26 hertz. The greatest figure skaters can make up to 6 revolutions per second. People are believed to have been wearing shoes for over 10,000 years. The word Mayday comes from the French word Mayday, which means help me. trench coats, standard issue among sailors.